This is a product video for Arlon's DPF 4600LX multi-purpose calendar film, and here are the details. Product number, DPF 4600, GLX is for gloss, MLX is for matte, film type, calendared, liner, lay flat poly-coated. The adhesive has the low-profile escape technology. The rolls come in widths of 30, 54, and 60 inches. The roll lengths, 50 yards. The thickness, 3.2 mil, and here are the uses. It's recommended to first go to arlon.com and search for DPF 4600 to get more product information. On this dedicated page, you will see more detailed information and product description. Clicking on Technical Details will give you more specific product information. On the outside of the box is the lot number, and it can also be found in the core tube. Before printing, it's highly recommended to download the correct ICC profile for free from arlon.com. This will help ensure optimal print quality and avoid using too much ink. The following inks can be used during the printing process, and be sure to outgas eco-solvent and solvent inks for 24 hours if laminating. Keep in mind that Arlon DPF 4600 can be installed unlaminated or laminated. It should be laminated for high wear applications, and for a complete list of laminations, reference this product information bulletin that can be found at arlon.com. Always be sure to produce the graphics correctly in terms of weeding, trimming, and packaging to help ensure a smooth install. Now we get to install, and it's highly recommended, especially for unlaminated installs, to apply a fresh buffer to the squeegee. We will begin with wall installs, and the first step in prep is to scrape the wall with a plastic scraper, then wipe the surface down with 70% isopropyl alcohol. Always spray directly on the microfiber towel and not the wall, and rotate the microfiber towel for maximum cleaning to get the most dirt off the surface. Once the surface is clean, use a laser level for alignment, and take extra time to ensure that the first panel, which is called the key panel, is in the correct position. Once set, always a good tip is to cut the backing paper in a half circle shape. Tuck the backing paper behind the panel, and this will lead to an easy release on the lower section. Pull the material towards the top, and then lock the film towards the surface with a squeegee stroke. This is called the permanent hinge. Once the top section is fully locked to the wall, then pull the liner, and be sure to do so low and flat to optimize tension on the surface. Note that the adhesive has a low initial tack. That makes it easy for the installer to reposition. Then a good tip is, when working with two installers, is to lock the side of the panel where the registration point will be with the next panel. This allows one installer to set up the next panel to create high workflow. Note that the overlap should be between a ½ inch and 1 inch wide. Butt joints should be avoided. In this case, the DPF 4600 is unlaminated, so the installers should pull evenly to avoid overstretching it. The finish, when squeegeeing, will be smooth due to the low-profile escape technology. For registration, the panel can be lifted up and adjusted to ensure pixel-to-pixel graphics. With the registration point set, lock the side of the panel where the registration will be with a squeegee stroke from top to bottom. Once this side is set, then squeegee the other side of the panel with long overlapping squeegee strokes. If tiny wrinkles occur on the panel, use light heat to trigger the memory effect, then read the wrinkles and make small adjustments to the squeegee strokes in order to lay the film flat. Bubbles can simply be pressed away with a finger or squeegee. With the install set, cut off all excess film with a sharp blade. To finish, go over all the overlaps with heat to ensure that they are fully adhered, and if the panels were installed correctly, they'll match up with a laser level. And a good tip is, before installing another section, take a few seconds to sweep dirt away from the bottom of the floor to help ensure high quality. Now we move to installs with moderate curves like this couch. First step is to always check the graphics to make sure they are accounted for and fit. For this type of surface, it's best to first general clean, then come back with a degreaser like isopropyl alcohol. Always be sure to do a 360 to make sure it's 100% clean. To help hold the panel in place, metal plates with masking tape are adhered to the surface, and magnets are being used. Always lay the graphics out and double check for alignment. Make any necessary adjustments by shifting the panel left to right top and bottom, and, once set, mark the center point on the backing paper with a dry erase marker. Then cut away a 1-inch section of the backing paper with a backing paper cutter, which exposes the adhesive, which can then be adhered to the surface with a squeegee stroke. Keep the liner on for the first squeegee strokes and apply the panel on from top to bottom. Once the panel is locked on, the installer can go cowboy or cowgirl, which means removing the entire liner. Then the panel can be adjusted and with long squeegee strokes applied to the surface. This creates high workflow and profits. Because it is a calendar film, be sure to tuck the film in first on any raised sections like the top of this couch before cutting the excess film away. Always put the excess film immediately in the trash, and for gaps, always be sure to make a flush cut and avoid wrapping the film too deep. For the curved sections on either end of the couch, first make sure the panel fits, top to bottom, left to right, then lock in the registration point to ensure high quality. Once the registration is set, lock it in with a squeegee stroke, then release the entire liner low and flat to the surface. If done right, the DPF 4600 will lay flat on the surface and the installer can simply squeegee. If wrinkles do occur, they can be shifted away with the triangle technique, which helps avoid having to pick up the entire panel. It shifts the tension away so it can lay low and flat to the surface. The install should be bubble-free if the material has been properly set up, and always clean up the workspace for safety and professionalism, and roll the liners up flat to minimize volume in the landfill. For vehicles, the first step is to do a general clean and, if necessary, clay bar the surface to make sure it's optimally smooth. Put extra focus on edges, and this can mean opening doors. When DPF 4600 is being installed as cutouts, be sure to use the right pre-mask to get a smooth install. Set the panel in position, and once it's in the exact position, use a dry erase marker as reference points. Once these are set, use magnets when possible, as it helps create good workflow, and make a hinge in the middle, using at least 3 so the panel doesn't shift. Fold the panel back, then release the liner, folding the pre-mask onto the body to help it stay in position, then cut it away safely with a snitty. Then pull the panel back and carefully align it to the points made by the dry erase marker. Once set, then squeegee it to the flat horizontal section first. DPF 4600 is especially easy to reposition on vehicles. This allows the installer to comfortably pick it off the surface to get proper alignment. Then, once set, continue to lock the panel on the horizontal hinge. When the panel bunches up on curves, be sure to use relief cuts to relax the film onto the surface. And for all recessed areas, be sure to feed the film into them to help ensure long-term hold. Once the panel has been applied, always go back and double squeegee the entire section, then pull the pre-mask off at a 10-degree angle. If the film is bridging a gap on the vehicle, use the empty solid logic and cut on the empty side. This is generally on the side facing the front of the vehicle. Once the cut is made, run a finger from top to bottom to get the film going onto the solid side. Squeegee the flat sections first, and if there are wrinkles, like here on the body line, use heat to soften the film first, then squeegee it flat with the hard side of the squeegee to the surface. Once the edges are cut and sealed, do a heat check over on the entire panel to ensure that all edges are sealed. And note that DPF 4600 will reach maximum adhesion on the surface after 24 hours if the temperature is above 50 degrees. For more information or immediate answers to questions, be sure to click the live chat tab on the homepage at arlon.com. You can also follow Arlon on Instagram and Facebook. This has been a product video for Arlon's DPF 4600GLX multi-purpose calendar film, proudly produced by the Rep Institute.